Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P4 Thinking Right out here in the lab where I'm doing what I do for you. I'm in the book again. We rolling right along. We at page 77. We rocking. I'm gonna introduce you to a concept they call the yoga of wisdom. So the question is, what is the yoga of wisdom? I got a page of information. Hopefully, you can answer that question. Let's go. Right as 25 rules live by storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? So I asked the question. Let's get it together. I asked the question. Do you know you? You went on through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not, excuse me, and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock, here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. My thinkers know thyself and to Maya be true. Right thinkers, let me introduce you initiation into what we call the yoga of wisdom. It's a philosophy that's been practiced for thousands of years, and they try to get you to realize that, and that's on the path to what they call wisdom to immortality and enlightenment. These are all lessons to help you along the road. Let's talk about. First of all, the word yoga, again, is a Sanskrit term which has been assimilated into the English language. That means to unite. Yoga means to come together, unite one's individual, unite your consciousness with the universal consciousness, aka God. A philosophy that I practice says that God is spirit and consciousness. When your individual conscious make connection with your higher conscious, that's when you and God become one. That's when you earn immortality because of your enlightenment of who you are. That's the name of the game. And the ancient Egyptians, equivalent to the word of yoga, is sma, SMA or SMAI or SEMA, however you want to do it. But the original was SMA, sma. That means, again, to unite. There are four major disciplines in the practice of yoga of sma. Okay? This book is dedicated to the study of what we call yoga of wisdom. That's what Aset or Isis represents. She's the lady with the knowledge, the wisdom, intuitive wisdom. And we will explore the most ancient teachings of yoga, which relate to the developing of your wisdom that leads to spiritual enlightenment. Knowledge leads you to enlightenment. Learning, comprehending, implementing, and manifesting, that's enlightenment. Thus, you must begin in ancient Egypt. Why? Because that time and place is when and where the evidence first emerged in the present human history of the practice of wisdom as a discipline for developing one's intellectual stability for the purpose of enlightening one's mind. Knowledge, self knowledge. Make it a way of life, live it. Enlightenment means to know, is the term used to describe the highest level of what they call spiritual awakening. It means attaining such a level of what? Spiritual knowledge and awareness that one now discovers the underlying unity of the entire universe, as well as the fact that the source of all creation is the same source from which the innermost self within every human heart arises. Yeah, he's in us. It is a state of ecstasy and bliss to what? Which transcends all concepts and descriptions, and which does not diminish and is not affected by the passage of time or physical conditions. When you reach the level of knowledge of self, become conscious, know who you are, you have reached the highest level they could, and you can't be knocked off or you can't be denied or swayed from what you know, which is yourself and God. And in this state of enlightenment, that's what you are, that the absolute proof of this teaching of what they call mystical spirituality are to be found not in the books, no, or doctrines or dogma. Where? This is because intellectual knowledge is only the beginning of the road which leads to what we call self, aka true knowledge. There's some things you have to do. And there are two forms of knowledge: intellectual, theoretical, and absolute, which is experiential. Gnosis means to know by experience. Intellectual means you learned it. Somebody told you about it and you understood it. It ain't had the experience, but you understand, you comprehend it. That's fine. But the best is what? Experiential. When you have experience of what it is you're learning, what point you're trying to make, once you experience it, now you got it. So these teachings of what they call yoga is really an advanced stage of religion. How about that? I've been saying that for the longest. The little bit y'all do got that Bible, that's elementary, that's baby stuff. I want meat and potatoes. Okay, y'all don't have that. Y'all got, y'all got fart food. That don't make a turd. Okay, I need something to stick to my ribs. Fill me up. All right, that's why I got my right thing of philosophy for. But you can, watch this. It's the advanced stage of religion and can lead a person to have his or her own experience for what? The truth about the transcendental, immortal, and eternal nature of one's soul for their own existence of God. You need to experience it for yourself. The mystical experience is you find out the mystery. You go, yeah, I got it. Eureka. It's waking up, whatever. Not, but all those things they call it. But when you have it, that's the idea. For you to have experience, you can call it whatever you want. Like my man told me, if blue magic, once you get it from me, you tamper with it, it's no longer blue magic. So don't keep calling it blue magic after you done tamper with it. I get that. That's the business bill. I understand it. But and this is what differentiates yoga, why? From intellectual philosophies and debates, cults, or religious dogma. Is set on principles and philosophy that you can manifest for yourself. You ain't got to believe it, you can prove it for yourself. And in yoga, there is no extortion to believe in anything. I ain't ask you to believe jack, other than what you can prove. How? Through your own experience, which is the best teacher. I can talk till I get blue in the face, but until you experience it for yourself, it's just a bunch of words, like Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. You ain't hearing nothing. It don't mean nothing. But so in order to do this, to have your own experience, all that is necessary is for you to follow the spiritual disciplines which have been scientifically outlined since many thousands of years ago, going back at least 7,000 years. I say all the time, an old saying don't get old if it ain't true. Lies fall by the wayside. They don't last long. Okay? Belief also fall by the wayside. So when you have knowledge, you got infinite information that will serve you forever. We must begin with the ancient Egypts because what? That is where the spiritual wisdom was first revered as and was considered the mother of all that is good. It was so important that it was personified in form of the goddess, the female. Her name was Aset. Okay? She is the mother of mothers, the wife of wives, and she's the goddess of all goddesses. Why? She got Ra's real name, so she had a whole lot of things going for her. So in your time, Google Aset and see what they say. Y'all might get it as Isis, but Aset is the ancient Egyptian name for the goddess who became popular under her designation as Isis by the Romans and the Greeks. They made her famous, but they called her what they wanted her to be. But Aset is referred to as the goddess of wisdom, intuitive knowledge, okay? Because she affected the what? Resurrection of who? Asar, her husband, and her son, Haru, spirit of me and you, okay? And she's responsible for the resurrection of Asar, which is her husband, and the Romans and the Greeks named him Osiris. We know him as Asar, they call him Osiris. But in order to understand the teachings of Aset, it will be necessary to actually study the myth of this goddess. Then you will study the teachings of her temple, in her temples, and in order to gain insight into her attributes and the manner in which she imparts her grace in the form of intuitional realization in the inner self, aka her God. She's inside of you. She part of giving you what you need, access to your higher self, knowledge that's already embedded in you. You just have to get to it. Wrapping it up. This is gonna be quick. Yeah, I see the clock. But what is the yoga of wisdom? Right quick. In order to understand what yoga is and what wisdom is, we must first understand what life is all about and the reason for our pain and suffering in it. I just did that's not today. We suffer through our memory and imagination. That's just my take on it, my philosophical concept. I put it on that. Let's see what they say. Okay. Most people believe that life is an opportunity to amass wealth and sensual pleasures. I just did a lesson about the gram. How much you pay for pleasures in life? If these are the things that you strive to, your bars are real low. Okay, but those are things that you can't stop it. That's what it is. But in most people, again, not all, but most people, that means more than 50%. And if you in that number, deal with the situation, make yourself better by get out. Most people do not reflect upon the emptiness which people feel when they seem to attain what? All they desire. If you getting everything you desire, life is good, ain't it? Life, everything you desire, you get. That's a good life, ain't it? Now, flip it where you ain't getting none of your desire. How good is life then? See, it's always two sides to that coin. That's what my yacht offers you. Look at both sides and then maintain balance so you don't go too far one way or the other. That's the little quick lesson there. But watch this. When you attain all that they desire or the ultimate destiny, when they reach death, which is always lurking like what? A shadow over all ignorant human beings. I said ignorant because if you know yourself, you don't fear death. Death don't bother you. But if you're ignorant, death scares the hell out of you. Okay? They say what? Religious people are scared to go to hell. Spiritual people already been through hell, so you can't scare me with that. Moving on. But for ignorant human beings, regardless of what, where they may be or what they maybe have attained in life. Why? Because at death, all bets is off. All your accomplishments, all your achievements, all your wealth, all your fame, all that's off the table. We want to check out what kind of person were you? How's your heart? How'd you live? That's why. And when you don't concern yourself with that until what? You're in a deathbed, you want to confess things you did wrong, you want to tell people you apologize. That don't save you. Why? The heart's still heavy. You can't cleanse your heart in a deathbed confession. That's why. So, and when you have at death, everything that you have attained in life will be on display. Only what? The internal stuff, not the material stuff. That's why. But wisdom is internal. Wisdom from what? Your spiritual point of view may be defined as the acquisition of what? You ready? Self-knowledge. Which, when coupled with experience in your life, you acquire what they call gnosis. That's wisdom. You have experience. And this allows you, the person, to now cross over what? That vast ocean of pain and sorrow that ignorant people suffer in life. With enlightenment, with the work that you can put in, you can leap right over that and pass by the pain and suffering in life. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. That's the concept of yoga of wisdom. It teaches you how to avoid the pitfalls and the negative aspects of life to make you feel like you didn't succeed. You ain't achieving things you should be doing. Just live right. Things work out. Anything other than that, you're going to have problems. But wisdom teaches you from what? Experience. Put the work in, get your experience, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine for doing just that. Trust me. I'll be right back. But what is the yoga of wisdom? You learning and doing the things you need to do, and you'll have your own experience. And that's what wisdom is, having your own experience. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Right thinkers in closing. May you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I'll never know that my right thinkers who now understand what yoga of wisdom is have passed away. I'll be right back.